Yeah, after having seen the source of existentialism in the Western thought pattern as well as some other thinkers, we are referring to a slightly stray thought, but not totally unrelated. That is the relation between modern art and existentialism. And I find that this section many are not comfortable with because they are not aware of what is modern art and what is art. Therefore, I will not spend much time on it, on this particular theme. But then I must refer to it. What I am trying to communicate. Both modern art and existentialism, they want to speak the same point. One uses the way of language. Existentialism, thought and language is in language it is expressed, either oral or written. Existentialism. The other one, the same idea or the same message is conveyed through modern art in the form of art. Both are referring to the same, but the way of communication in existentialism, it follows the way of language. In the modern art, it follows the way of art. I hope I am clear about both are referring to the same referent. And therefore, they say, in modern art, we can trace the physiognomy of contemporary age. Physiognomy. The meaning of the term is that art of reading the face, reading the character of a person by looking at the face of a person. Looking at the face of the person, this person appears to be a thief from the face. So that is a kind of a particular science, a science that enables a person read the character by looking at the face. That is called physiognomy. Now we are saying we can find in the modern art, looking at the modern art, we are able to find the picture of the human being in the modern art, in the contemporary period. How the humans are thinking, that we can find in the way modern art is expressed. Now, modern art is a movement towards destruction of the traditional forms, as existentialism has been. Existentialism has been destroying the traditional way of thinking, some of which we have already seen, we will see. So also modern art also is destroying the traditional way of art. What is this traditional way of art? Traditional art is more realistic. Realism. What is the realism? That's why I am meaning, since many people do not have any idea about art, that's why what I am speaking may not make much sense. What is the realism? Realism means, suppose you are drawing the picture of a table, that I must be able to see the picture exactly as the table which I am drawing. If you are painting the picture of a person, the person must be exactly as the person, exact copy of the same, representing, exact representation. That is called realism. Realism was emphasized in the traditional art, and that came to the climax, especially in great artists like Western artists, like Michelangelo and so on. Why we refer to Pieta? Pieta is the famous carving of Our Lady with Jesus, the dead body of Jesus in her lap. The way she is holding the hand, the way the head is bent, the way the veins are bulging out, the way the veins on the neck of the dead body of Jesus is bulging out exactly as if I am seeing the same thing in reality. That is the meaning of realism. Realism to the core. That for so many centuries, that was the traditional understanding that was given importance. Even in films also, realism was given great importance. The famous film Padar Panchali in the Bengali movie, realism to the core. That film I have seen 3 times, not in the theatre, but it was brought to the seminary in Pune, and it is realism. Before the rain, there is a scene, 15 minutes the director is taking in order to give the feel that it's going to rain. So many things, observation that made him, what are the things happening just before that rain. So we feel that it is going to rain. That is extreme realism. That was emphasized traditionally. But then there is a shift. Just as philosophy also has been different from the contemporary period, so also art also is changed. It became modern art. What is speciality? A few things I am giving, whether it is understandable to you or not. Arbitrary manipulation and distortion of the object. Arbitrary manipulation and distortion. The object is not presented as it is exactly. It is manipulated. The nose may not be here, nose may be somewhere else. But there is a reason. Eyes may not be 2 eyes, there may be more than 2 eyes. There is a reason. It is more symbolic. Modern art is more symbolic. Like elongation and multiplication of the parts of the body. Elongation means what? Making it longer. When you do the caricature means cartoon sketch. When you may do that one, because when we are small, we had a lot of chances for that one, because Indira Gandhi's caricature, when you draw, the nose is longer, because the nose is actually longer than the normal people, aristocratic type of aquiline nose, and then you make it longer, and that way there are some techniques used. Okay. Use of thrown away materials. We don't use marble. We don't use normal, what is called this canvas. Thrown away materials are used for modern art, like rope, log of wood, not unshapely log of wood, unshapely stones, etc. They are used in modern art. The wire bent in a very, not very decently, thrown away, broken pieces. When I made some modern art in the garden, when I was in Trichur, then some people, when they saw, he told me, Father, if you want, I'll give you some money. You make it, they are making with the old broken pieces of stone, you make it full, that I'll pay for that one. I told, I am purposely doing it, not because of the money. I am using the thrown away. It is thrown away. I am using it. When I keep the stone in that garden there, it is not that kind of perfect presentation of as we normally think, 2 pillars both sides, two bouquets, both the bouquets same type. If one is little longer, you cut it and same shape. That is kind of rigid way of art. This one is more natural, more symbolic. Flattening of the painting into 2-dimensional, another speciality. Modern art is not, it is original art was 2-dimensional. What is original art? How the children draw. What is the difference between what is Two-dimensional art. Two-dimensional art means two-dimension, depth and width. Three-dimensional means you are able, depth, width and height. Three-dimensional means we are able to see the width of it, the depth of it. So we find, so we feel there's a kind of depth is there. This is only a sketch, but when you paint, we find the depth, we find the distance. It is painted on the same surface, but then there's a distance. That mountain is far away from where Francis is standing. That the three dimension is able to give that aspect. So children, the original art was, primitive art was two-dimensional. Afterwards it became three-dimensional. The Belgians claim they are the first to make art into three-dimensional, the depth. We can see, when you see what you call a pearl on the crown of the Jesus the King, we can see the shape of it as though it is bent, it is curved. We can see on the other side even. That is the ability of the artist, to see that depth and the depth of it. So, but in the modern art is made into, it is flattened. It became two-dimensional. So three-dimensional became two-dimensional. So these are some of the characteristics. And when people find modern art, the first impression, the first response is, it is too negative, too nihilistic, negative, shocking, unpalatable, that means not very pleasant, irrational. So that is the impression that people have regarding the modern art. But these aspects of life have been neglected in the traditional realistic art. By flattening of space and time, of climaxes and of values, modern art exalts the banal, the contingent, the ugly, along with the beautiful, sublime and noble. I will take it up this point later.